Okay, Ken, we're going to establish datum planes. And the reason why we put on datum planes is so when the shop gets it, they will actually use those datum planes to build reference geometry from for their tool fixtures or their NC tool paths. So they will literally pick your planes and build tool fixtures from them, or they'll take your datum planes and work to that same plane as the top or side surface. Okay, so we provide those datum planes for them in our geometrical set. So if you open up your geometrical set, what we do is we add a geometrical set called datum features. So what we're going to do here is before you do that, click off in no man's land just to show people, highlight datum A face. Perfect. And what plane on the axis is that on? So we'll go back to your ISO view.
Could be on the
It's on the
XY.
XY plane. And you can even highlight the XY plane, that little L shape by that. That would be, if I want to sketch on that datum plane, that's the same plane as datum A, yes?
Yes, sir.
So your local axis is always placed where your datums are. So highlight datum B on the axis. What would datum B be on the axis? Go ahead and highlight it. See how he's got that highlighted, the X and the Z is highlighted? That face would represent datum B. The axis datum B plane is actually on the face datum B. If you could highlight the part where the datum B is. So looking at the front view is the left side, right? And if we did this correctly in the sketch, he's identified those lines as your datums A and B. Would that be correct?
Is correct.
Okay. If you go open the part body and open the pad, if he were to go into his sketch, you would see that he renamed his geometrical set, our construction geometry, or sorry, constraint. Sorry, he would have renamed his constraints to have the datum A and B, which are usually always go back to the top once you've renamed them. And what we did was we coincident the datum A and B, okay? And then we go ahead and pop back into the ISO view, or exit out of sketch. So we've established datum A and B. Let's go ahead and go back to our ISO view and highlight datum C. And go ahead and highlight datum C on the part. And what plane is that on?
DY.
YZ plane, right? So the YZ plane, now in the book, or up on the screen, you'll notice that they call it XY, YZ, and then I disagree with the ZX, it's XZ. It's always been primary, secondary, tertiary vectors in alphabetical order. So to me, that's out of alphabetical order, would be XZ. But nonetheless, it's the same plane. And what we would do is we'd actually create datum planes for the shop to work from. So we would first, I think I want to click on the construction geometry, and then the icon, the one on the right, what's that say? If you click on that,
Set.
yes, if we click on the geometrical set, thank you, it creates a geometrical set within the construction geometry. Okay, that can be there, or you can hit undo. Will it undo that? Or do we have to delete it? Okay, now this time highlight, go up to the top of the tree and highlight that right there, and then go to geometrical set. Thank you. And then where did it put it? See where that geometrical set is?
Part body must have been active.
I'm not sure if that was, but we can reorder that. It's not a problem. So what we do right now is right click on that and go to properties, and we'll name it the datum planes.
Sure, or
yeah, we're going to rename geometrical set to call them datum planes. We usually use an underscore to keep no spaces in there. Select OK. Again, this is just an extra step your company may or may not be doing, but I wanted you to know about it. And also, I'm very heavy on trying to make sure you guys identify where your planes are. So, what you would do is go to the wireframe workbench. With the datum's underlined as an in-work object, we would go to wireframe tab and select plane. Okay, so you select the plane feature, and then you see what the pop-up window is asking for. Reference element. And what I do is I just rotate it, so I grab the bottom of the part, and that is my datum A. And what I do right away is, you notice it's not on the same plane. So first thing I do is I go to my ISO view. And then I hit the move, I grab that move text and move it a little bit more towards the front of it. Okay, and then I would change my offset to 0. Right over there is good. And change your offset to 0, because it's going to move as soon as you hit tab, and then it will move. And then I might move it a little bit more centered on the part to the up left. Oops, hit the move text. Make sure it stays on 0. Yeah, more like that right there, and select OK. So we've just established datum A. You go and open up your tree. And what I'm trying to do is I'm placing them in an easy view for the shop to see when they're in the isometric view. So I'm going to duplicate those steps and create a datum plane for B and C. I grab the text move, and again I pop right back to the ISO view, because it may look good here, but when you go in the ISO view, all of a sudden it looks funny. So I'd rather have that up a little bit more and kind of more up. Yeah. To me, that's going to help them establish datum B. So I think that looks good there. We'll say OK. And then we do the same thing for datum C. Yeah, I think that might be good there. Or you could bring it towards the front on the other side. Either way, I don't care as long as they're there. If you want to move them, you just double click it to get that move text to come up. All right. So whatever looks good to you, you're the one that has to make it clear for the shop to read, right? And you just want to double check your plane 2 and 3 to make sure they're set at 0. With them being set at 0, that'll look good. You can minimize those.
Read datum E, datum A, datum B, datum C.
That's exactly what we're going to do. So you can go ahead and minimize your offsets, or minimize your planes. So we know, I just did that to check to make sure they're in the right spot, and then we're going to go ahead and rename them. Datum, and you know, I did it in order. Technically it doesn't matter, but for me I like it all to be in alphabetical order. So when I'm looking at the tree, it's not datum C, datum B, datum A. I start with datum A and work my way down. And then one more to go. And that's all there is to it. Now, if you would, could you minimize your part body? The part body. Minimize the, yep, and go up a little bit, minimize the construction geometry. So, again, you could have your datum in the construction geometry. I don't know. I kind of like it out here. I don't know if there's anything wrong with it. I think what I do like about putting in the construction geometry, I always know exactly where it is, and I won't have to do this step. Go ahead, minimize them, please. And then what we'll do is go up to the top of the tree. No, I want to still see the rest. You can minimize material, but I want to see that. So what I like to do, or where the datum plane should be, is right under construction geometry. So under the actual part on the very top of the tree, the very top of the tree, the specification tree, the very top, we right click and go to contextual menu on that, and under, oh god, object, I'm looking for reorder.
Oh, that's
Maybe you have to select on Ken, the second one. Let's try and select the second part of the tree. Click off of that and pick on right click on Ken. And go to
there we go.
No, not that one. Wait, what does that say? Regame?
Like frame on work object.
No, not that one. I think it's under object on the very bottom. And then we should get reorder
children.
Yes, reorder children. And then another pop-up window will come up, and you can grab the scroll down on that box until you find datum planes, and then you use the green arrows to move it up. And it goes right under construction, and you see in the tree it's under construction now, and select OK.
Yep.
All right, and that's a little lesson on how to create your datum planes for the shop, how to manipulate that stuff, how to rename them, and then also how to work with the specification tree. It will be important in production to learn how to do that, so hopefully this little tidbit helps you out. Thank you, Ken, for sharing.
Thanks for the help.